Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Sisbury, a Truder. Welcome to Crusader Kings 3. It is launch day. It is here. Oh my flipping goodness. Right, so I'm putting the final touches on a brand new series of this that is going to be kicking off later this week. But for launch day itself, I wanted to do something different. So I've been digging through the game and I have found myself some very interesting characters, some very interesting mechanics, some very interesting new stuff that has been introduced by Crusader Kings 3. So today, I've got something very special planned indeed. So, 2 start dates to kick off with here. We got ourselves 867, so you got yourself a whole bunch of Vikings, you got yourself the carling business, or you've got 1066, lots of fun business in England, etc, etc. Now, I'm going to be going for 1066, as yeah, the last playthrough I did in Crusader Kings 2 was 867, so let's mix things up a bit, but yeah, let's not go for any of this lot, alright? I've got something else in mind. So, beautiful big map laid out on a table, very, very nice indeed. Now, as many of you will be aware, one thing that personally fascinates me is cultures that have persevered through the centuries despite not actually being the same culture as the ruling family or kingdom or whatever who's governing them. Those cultures absolutely fascinate me. And if we just go over to the culture map here, yeah, that's why I actually played as Cornwall in my very first game of Crusader Kings 2, because I find Cornish culture absolutely fascinating. So I wanted to find something similar, and my eyes drifted south to here, to Occitan. So, what does Occitan mean in case you've never come across this before? Well, basically, this region in blue, today referred to most commonly as Occitania, is the unique culture, language, even cuisine of large parts of southern France and a few other bits and pieces that has been governed by those of a distinct French culture for many, many centuries. But, the fascinating thing is, this isn't just like, a historical footnote. There are still over 100,000 active speakers of the Occitan language alive today. Claire's great-grandmother spoke Occitan as her first language. Claire's mother speaks it as a second. Claire herself might have learnt it, but she grew up in Lyon, which is just a tiny bit too far north to be inside Occitania. This is a real ongoing cultural identity to this day. Almost a full millennium of being ruled by different cultures, the Occitan culture has survived and persevered, and I find that so damn fascinating. And the reason I'm telling you this is because, yeah, culture matters a lot more in Crusader Kings 3 than it used to. We'll get back to that in a second, because I went around looking for someone interesting inside the Occitan culture group, and I found someone very, very interesting indeed. So say hello to Duke Bertrand II of Provence. And I love Provence's starting position in 1066 because, yes, it's just such a fascinating position to be in, because it sort of sits on a fascinating crossroads of history, which is technically, de jure, it's supposed to be part of the Empire of Francia. And yet instead, right now de facto, it's part of the Holy Roman Empire instead. But actually, also, in terms of kingdoms, yeah, de jure, it's supposed to be part of Burgundy, which doesn't actually exist at the start of the game. So, fascinating position. Could be pulled in all sorts of different directions. I think it's a really interesting start. But a difficult start too, because of course, yeah, naturally you are very much between a rock and a hard place. France on one side, the Holy Roman Emperor on the other, you are a small fish in a pond full of very, very big barracudas. What are we gonna do? Well. Bertrand II's got himself a couple of aces up his sleeve, because he may be a terrible diplomat, a poor military leader, a catastrophically incompetent administrator, and none too bright either, but, he is the most cunning bastard who ever bastarded. So that's what we're going to be doing here today, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to be putting Crusader Kings 3 through its paces, trying out all the new nasty tricks and schemes that high intrigue can give you. A knife in every study, a rose in every bedchamber, and a chain in every dungeon. Oh, it's gonna be some good dirty fun today. And the second ace up my sleeve is, yeah, there's more than one way to play the game. And in particular, there's a fascinating new one. This is actually one of my favourite little additions to Crusader Kings 3, which is, if you just look up to the top right here, this probably all looks very, very familiar. So you know what? You've still got money coming in and going out. Great, that's gold. Your personal prestige, spectacular. Then you got yourself piety, absolutely great. But then we've got something new. We've got ourselves renown. Now this is interesting. Like, the easiest way to explain this is it's kind of like prestige, but for your entire dynasty together. So yeah, the way it's calculated is, right now we're insignificant, but if we can gain enough renown, we'll go up to noteworthy, and further up, reputable, well-known, significant, famous, glorious. Oh, that'd be absolutely magnificent. So, we've got renown coming in a month. That is being calculated based on all the positions that everyone in your dynasty all holds together. You gain a tiny amount of renown just for the fact you've got a certain number of living members, but, you know, it's like 0.02 per living member. That's never going to count for much. You need to have people in important positions. So, I am the Duke of Provence. As a result of that, I'm bringing in the lion's share, 0.5. But we've also got one count and one count by marriage. Now, that last one's important because you may notice there the renown is not just brought in by holding titles. Being married to a title holder also gets you almost as much renown as actually holding the title in the first place. So playing the marriage game, making sure that your daughters and female dynasty members are off married to the right people, that can be hugely, hugely beneficial. Even if it's not actually going to be generating claims that land further dynasty members, there's still a really strong benefit to playing the marriage game well. So, with only 7 dynasty members to work with, we better understand who's flipping who. So, I got myself 3 sisters, 1 bastard daughter, then I got myself, 1 cousin, and a second cousin who has now unfortunately died, who leaves behind 1 daughter. So, I'm the Duke. The count who's also giving us, you know, some renown is this count right over here. Absolutely lovely. And he's not married. Okay, keep that in mind. That's probably going to be useful going forward. He's also inside the Holy Roman Empire. So, hang on. I just need to... There he is. He's right there next door. And then we've got the other renown-producing person. Yeah, my sister, who has got married to a count. And you, my friend, hang on, let's figure out where you are. There you go. Very useful little lines indicating who's reporting to who. I do like those. So yes, he is a count within the Duchy of Toulouse. He reports into the Duke of Toulouse. He's within France, and he is married to my sister. Spectacular. Then we've got a sister who made a much worse decision, which is, she married some random unlanded guy and is now hanging out in Barcelona. My other sister, meanwhile, is, she's back home with me because she's only 9 years older for the time being. So, okay, this sister's a bit of a bastard flush. Don't worry about her. I've got a bastard daughter, but, I am the head of this dynasty. So the rules for legitimizing people have now changed. As the head of the dynasty, I can choose who does or doesn't belong in this dynasty. So as a result of that, I can just legitimize her right now if that's what I want to do. Which 100% I do want to do because we don't have enough bloody dynasty members to actually, you know, be kicking her out. And the final dynasty member, we've got ourselves the 12-year-old daughter of my cousin, who's currently just hanging out in, she's in Barcelona too. So, for whatever reason, we've got some ties to Barcelona. So, keep an eye on her. In fact, you know what? We're going to actually pin her and track her. The moment she comes of age, we're going to see if we can invite her back to court. So, most of my dynasty is still located in my court, so therefore I get to control their marriages. Got my sister, got my daughter. Gonna need to make sure both of them get married well. Alright, Jaburga, my beloved sister, let's find you a spouse. And the whole point is we want them to be as high-ranking as possible, so arrange by rank. And we've got a couple of interesting ones showing up here, The King of Denmark is looking for a new spouse. And he's only just willing to accept this because, of course, he's reluctant to get married to anyone but someone good because it's his own marriage. And also, he's marrying down. He's a king, marrying a duke. That's not spectacular. but he's willing to do it anyway. And part of that is because he doesn't have any alliances. The non-aggression pact thing is out of the window these days. Marriages have been streamlined. If you get a marriage with someone, that's it. You are in an alliance with them immediately. Denmark needs allies, so, you know, he's willing to make some compromises to get married as fast as possible, and that works in my favour right now. So, this guy's alright. The problem's going to be, of course, yeah, any children that this produces aren't going to be of my house, which is fine. For as long as he's alive, that's still going to be worth some good renown to me. For my young daughter, however, yeah, that one's trickier. The thing is, absolutely, we could get her engaged to the leader of Venice right now, but he's 58, and they're not going to be getting married for another 13 years. There's a decent chance he won't even live that long. And arguably, if he does, that's even worse. Because that means she'll leave court, she'll go over to his court, we only get the benefit of the renown for, like, you know, a handful of years till he drops dead, then she might decide to stick around, marry someone inappropriate, who knows what she'll decide to do next. Because you don't start getting the renown until the marriage has actually taken place. A betrothal doesn't count. You start getting the alliance straight away, but not the renown. So instead, for now, here we go. There's a young Duke of Luxembourg. So yeah, you can tell from the gold little bar there versus the blue, he's the next level down in Duke. So, honestly, that's acceptable. That would still be worth a good, solid amount of renown. So, let's put that in play. If need be, we can call off the betrothal if someone better shows up. So, what's my next big move in the world? Well, if we just go over to here, yeah, the lovely stained glass issues thing. This just kind of gives you a heads up for stuff you can do. Now, the game is flagging to me immediately, yeah, my cousin, Count Jalfred, I can just go to war with him immediately. Not least as I've now got the might of Denmark and Luxembourg behind me. Probably don't need them, to be honest. He's only got one tiny county. But I don't want to do that. You see, renown only counts if you're not reporting in to the same structure. So, just to be clear, because yeah, this takes a moment to get your head round here. If you're the King of France, and you've got, like, you know, 10 dukes working for you, which you might do, there's a lot of dukes in France, if you make all of those dukes your own dynasty members, the only renown you're going to be getting is the renown for being the King of France. Every single one of those dukes counts for nothing. Now, they're gaining personal prestige. Absolutely, it's going to make life easier to manage. There are absolutely things to recommend about doing that, but in terms of renown, you're going to be missing out. Because no one's going to think your dynasty's so impressive because it's got all these dukes in France, because it's blatantly clear that, you know, their dad, the King of France, just gave them the job. It's just nepotism. So if you want renown, you've got to be part of different feudal structures. So me and my next door neighbour, my cousin, both generate renown, because we're both reporting into the same liege, but we're not part of the same single chain, if you see what I mean. It takes a moment to get your head around that, but yeah, rather than tearing down my dynasty members to build up my personal power, I want to be seeing who I can help, even if it doesn't impact me personally. You see, the Duchy of Toulouse, the second in line to inherit that, is in fact my brother-in-law. So, even though I'm not going to get a thing out of it, if this guy were to die, then all of a sudden, over in my dynasty, yeah, my sister would actually become the wife of a duke rather than the wife of a count. And that's worth a lot more renown, almost as much renown as if I had a duke on the throne of my own dynasty. So that, my good man, means, yeah, it's time for our first murder. It's not going to be our last, though, not by a long shot. So, begin the murder scheme. So, welcome to the new scheme system. You got yourself, yeah, personal schemes like, you know, making friends with people or whatever, and hostile schemes where you're trying to murder people. Now, the problem is, right now, yeah, that's not actually going to succeed that easily. 20% chance of being successful when we actually try and fire it, and only a 35% chance of keeping it a secret. So, that's not good. That's not good at all. We're going to need to boost that up a little bit. So that's all fine. How about we head over to our council and see what we can do? Because the council's changed a little bit. They do different jobs. We'll get into them as they come up. But your wife now gets a sort of special place on the council under all circumstances, where she can do a variety of different jobs. either she can sort of help you out in general, just boosting you up a tiny bit, or she can help you out a lot in one particular area. So, as she's actually pretty good at the old Intrigue, I'm going to tell her to focus on that. And yeah, there's no cooldown on that. You can change it as much as you want. And as for my Spy Master, I happen to have a very, very good Spy Master. That is not bad at all. So I'm going to tell him, yeah, right now by default he's just disrupting schemes. I'm going to tell him to support my schemes instead. Hostile scheme power goes up by 24 because he's very, very good at his job. Flipping spectacular. So you can get on with that. And yeah, you can also change this as often as you want. There's no cooldowns for changing jobs on the council anymore, which is very, very helpful indeed. So that's all I could do to boost the actual scheme right there. Maybe we can do a little something more here, because I haven't actually picked a focus yet, the lifestyle. Now this is perhaps the biggest change in all of Crusader Kings 3. So, back in the day, you picked yourself a focus, and that's still true. You can pick yourself a focus here. Though now there are, 3 per, like, primary statistic rather than 2. But now, rather than just, taking whatever you need at that exact moment in time, like, say, going to war when you're about to go to war, now, it's all a bit more long-term. That's the big thing of Crusader Kings 3 versus Crusader Kings 2. Everything has a lot more long-term consequences to it. Because while you've got to focus in a particular lifestyle, you're building XP. Because I've got myself a good education in Intrigue, I'm going to build XP in this tree faster. So, that's what we want to be doing here. Agent acceptance up, so I can bring agents into my scheme a little bit more effectively. Intrigue up by 3. I'm going to start leveling up nice and fast too. Flipping spectacular. And now we're starting to get somewhere. Throw all of that together, and yeah, now we've got a better than 50% chance that the scheme's going to go off without a hitch, and a pretty good chance it's going to remain secret. Ah, yes, and that's because one person did jump into the scheme immediately, and understandably, yeah, it's the Anglo-Saxon who doesn't particularly care for the Occitan liege he's currently living with. And also, he's a bit of a bastard. It says there, yeah, blackguard. So he's a bit of a dick, basically. He's very happy to do a bit of murder. Oh, we have got some excellent news here. It turns out the Duke has very much annoyed one of his actual counts. Right now at minus 100 because he was, oh dear, fired from the council, attempted an arrest, revoked my title. Yeah, unfortunately, the Duke has annoyed one of his counts, and as a result, the count has jumped straight on the murder train, and being a count, he's got access to the Duke. So as a result of that, yeah, that's a massive pile of success and scheme power. So the scheme is just accelerated massively. At this point, we're almost certain to get away with it. And at this point, this should be pretty much a sure thing. But just in case, an extra event just popped up. So an escape route. Yes, that strikes me as a sensible idea. If I want to not to get, caught, that's probably a brilliant idea, in fact. So I could just say, no, can't be bothered with that. I could go and explore the plains myself. So, okay, 60% chance that I successfully map the area, but 30% chance that I get lost and pick up some stress, 10% chance I get so lost I have to spend overnight out in the plains, and I would also become ill and pick up a load of flipping stress. Meanwhile, I could pay a hunter from Toulouse to draw the map, so 15 gold, right there, 51%, the hunter is discreet, but 50% he decides to brag about his newly acquired wealth, which is probably a bad idea. And yes, you may be noticing stress there, because I'm paranoid. This I like. This is really, really darn cool. So over here on the left, you get yourself your stress meter. Naturally, stress is most of the time a bad thing. You don't want to be having yourself stress. But what triggers stress more than anything else is going against your nature. So it really flipping leans into roleplay. So I, for example, am paranoid. So if I do things that go against being paranoid, I can, 100%, but it's stressful for me. So yeah, you actually really have to lean into the character you're playing as. Because if you try and play against them, then you're going to start getting yourself stressed out because you're acting out of character. It's a brilliant system, I love it. So, okay. The problem is the hunter doesn't seem to be, actually that good at his job, all things considered, and 50-50. I mean, I think the scheme's already doing fine without that, so I'm going to abandon the idea, because with the Count's help, we don't need it. Oh, and other good news, my wife is pregnant. Spectacular, because yeah, I need more children. I'm going to be needing a bunch of sons, a bunch of daughters. The more marriages going on, the better. And it is time. So there apparently has been unrest in Toulouse, so a unique opportunity has presented itself. So we could make sure there's a riot while the Duke's passing through the streets. No one will suspect anything. Oh no, he was just caught during a riot. Dear oh flippin' dear. Kind of his own fault for being a terrible Duke, really. So yeah, with this success chance, this works. And in theory, if you want to just, like, you know, wait until better agents were available, you could say this is far too unpredictable, and yeah, at that point, just set yourself back a few months, try again, if you might have better stats. But with 1995%, here we flipping go. And oh dear, the Duke is dead, beaten and trampled by his own subjects. So the agitated peasants took out their Duke. What a bloody shame. Absolutely tragic. And on top of that, peasants were hanged, including my own agitators. So dead men tell no tales. Goodbye, you stupid losers. Shouldn't have trusted someone who blatantly looks evil. Toulouse is now being run by my brother-in-law, meaning my sister is now the Duchess of Toulouse, which is absolutely flipping spectacular. Now in Crusader Kings 2, that would be the end of it, but no, this is Crusader Kings 3. So, just because you didn't get caught during the initial investigation, it doesn't mean you're home free. No. There's a series of hooks and secrets. Hooks basically being like favours, if you like. So, I now possess a secret. I murdered that Duke, and that is a secret that I'm going to hold for the rest of my life. It's just going to be there. In theory, somebody could discover that secret. Because that's one of the tasks a spy master can do now. You can send them into a particular location and try and find a secret if there is one. And if anyone in the future ever discovers I murdered that Duke, then they could start blackmailing me. And if I don't comply because I get a choice, they will expose the secret. And then everyone will know I'm a murderer, and that's probably bad for my reputation. So to protect myself, as I've got a good spy master, yes, my friend, go over to Disrupt Schemes. Make sure that nobody can find out my secrets, because I've now got them, and that's kind of unfortunate. Okay, having interfered in the affairs of France, let's turn our attention to domestic matters for a second, because, yeah, Provence is not necessarily the happiest place in the world. I've only got one holding right now. I hold my capital and the duchy, and that's actually, that's a lot. I really don't have much in the world. There's a lot else going on here. Instead, I've actually got myself a giant pile of vassals. Oh my, you're a steward right now, but you've got intrigue of 22 and you like me. Okay, hang on, we need to shuffle around the council a bit because apparently we've been making some bad decisions here. Yes. You, my good man, you are most certainly going to be going straight over to Spy Master. Meanwhile, my marshal, who's only got a martial skill of 7, has a flipping diplomacy stat of 19. Seriously, why are you all in the wrong position? Okay, we need to change absolutely flipping all of this. I definitely wouldn't mind a handful more troops just for security, though. So, okay, military. How that works these days is you've got yourself a number, but the number of troops isn't necessarily the most important thing anymore. What's arguably more important is how good those troops are, or rather how good the overall composition is. You've got yourself your levies. Those are your basic lads. Everything produces them, just like in Crusader Kings 2. You've got yourself men-at-arms, the mid-tier. They're kind of like retinues in Crusader Kings 2, but like unlike retinues, you don't just pay a load of money to make them stand forever. Instead, yeah, if you actually create those guys, when they're actually raised, they cost a certain amount of money. When they're not raised, they still cost a certain amount of money. So, these guys get expensive, but yeah, even the basic lads, the light footmen, if you compare their stats to levies, they're going to absolutely flipping slaughter them. So levies are just a bunch of peasants holding spiky sticks that probably haven't even been sharpened. Men-at-arms are a smaller number of actually good troops. They've got some combat experience, they've got armour, they've got weapons, they're going to do a lot better. So yeah, with an attack of 25, bowmen are going to absolutely slaughter basic levies. But there's only going to be 100 of them, so they're only going to have so much of an impact. And then at the top, you've got yourself knights. So people actually inside your court are your knights. So what we want here is, yes, as many of these as possible. So right now I can have 6 of them. They are going to be pretty darn tough, all things considered. A knight, because they're in full armour, they've got themselves, like, you know, horses and lancers. Now, I've had knights work, I'm not an expert on knights, but, like, you know, they're super good. They can actually carry things pretty effectively, because no one wants to see a massive lad in plate armour running at them on the back of a massive warhorse that's also armoured, alright? That's enough to make a large number of levies just say, screw this, I'm off, I've not been paid enough for this. In fact, I've not been paid at all because I'm a feudal peasant. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let time pass for a second, and then next month I'm going to put, yeah, one group of bowmen into production. They hit really, really flipping hard. They also get some bonuses if they're up on hills or forest or whatever. Absolutely spectacular. It's going to cost me a little bit of money even if they're not standing, but you know what? We'll have one of them. So as a result of that, yeah, they're now going to just heal up towards 100 as time goes by. Absolutely spectacular. And as a result of that, I'm going to have more and more troops. Oh, but magnificent news. We've got ourselves a brand new son. Spectacular. So, okay, some nice naming options. We can actually, yeah, have my father's name, my name. We can just randomly pick ancestors, good Catholic names, or good Occitan names. Yes. Yes, 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 that'll do. And, ooh, there's some good ones here. What do I like? Oton. I like Oton. He shall be Oton. May you grow to be strong and wise, my son. Also, just realised I kind of... Have I not been bothering to... Okay, possibly I should be educating my children. Right, forgot to actually set them guardians. Sorry about that, yes. So, yes, okay, new education system. It's kind of been streamlined. There's now no longer a childhood section, education section. It's just education. And by default, children will just accept an education that works best for them. So, yeah, this child, for example, has... what are you precisely? You are bossy, but you've also inherited, presumably, callous from me. Sorry about that. So, yeah, bossy means she's good at some things, bad at others, very familiar. But I'm going to move her over to stewardship. And then we're also going to, yes, set the education. Not me, though. I would not be good at that sort of education. Instead, who's good at this sort of nonsense? Okay, it turns out absolutely nobody has got a stewardship education. Or a martial education either, because my court is very small. So, okay, you know what? We'll move you over to martial, and you will be raised by my knight. That's what we'll be doing. There we go. Back to martial for you. Congratulations. And okay, I should have checked who was available for a guardian before we changed her education, because now it can't be changed. Okay, my mum is at least somewhat good as a steward. She's a close family relation and she's not entirely unintelligent. Hopefully she can pull this off. And my bishops come running up to me saying we need resources for troops. If one small village in Provence has to starve... okay. So, unfortunately, the representative from Provence has decided to run up to me and desperately wants me to, you know, stop this bishop starving people to death to feed the army. So, I can give them a decree that makes this guy shut up. Now, unfortunately, I am callous. That's part of what makes me so good at scheming and murdering, but as a result of that, if I'm nice to people, it causes me some stress. But, because I'm doing scheming and backhanded things... I actually get some intrigue lifestyle experience, which helps get me perks faster, which is tempting. Plus, the County of Provence will actually develop faster, so they'll start producing better stuff, but that guy will hate me. But he kind of already hates me, so interesting. Alternatively, I can say, well, you know what, it's just one village, who cares? I get a bunch of prestige, for some reason, I'm like looking at the bigger picture or something, and they also get, I get bonus levies, 10% bonus levies, but development massively down. No, I'm going to give the decree over, because 50 lifestyle intrigue, that's nice. That's nice right there. In fact, yeah, that's building up nicely over here. And also there's a bit of a war going on, but it doesn't really involve me, so it's fine. Oh, here's a tricky one. So, the Holy Roman Emperor's written to me and said, okay, that guy didn't want in Provence, he's just gonna transfer him to me. Or rather, he wants to. I could say no, because if I accept, I'm giving up 0.25 renown every month, but if I do accept, then that's worth, you know, more money, more troops through levies, all sorts of bits and pieces. So, yeah, he's actually gaining stress from that because he's greedy. He doesn't want to give away territory, but he kind of knows it's the right thing to do. So, okay, for 0.25 renown, I will accept, because if I do accept, I can't help but notice, yeah, we noticed this earlier, he's actually got claims on the Duchy of Toulouse. One day, the opportunity might show up for us to actually make him the Duke. And then, we've got a duchy in the dynasty going forwards, not just for one generation. And speaking of big, powerful, important people, yeah, keep an eye on the Independence faction. Because at some point I might want to, you know, leave the Holy Roman Empire. So, Tuscany's on board, they're pretty strong. Other than that, it's just a tiny handful of, yeah, little city-states. Potentially, if, yeah, Bohemia or Bavaria get on board, we might be willing to push ourselves out of the Empire at some point. But honestly, no rush, I'm happy inside. Oh, but the crucial moment has arrived. I've got my first Intrigue perk. So yes, I've been gathering XP of about 32 a month, so 100 every 3 months, or 400 a year. So yeah, even with a good education, it takes about, yeah, it's going to take 3 or 4 years, because yeah, I got a bit of a boost off that decision, to get a single perk. Every single perk tree, meanwhile, has 9 perks in it. At the bottom, you may notice there are some very powerful traits. So yeah, over here, for example, Schema, Intrigue plus 5, 25% to all hostile schemes. That's absolutely spectacular. These perks are the creme de la creme, but yeah, when you factor in, even if you've got like the perfect education, it's going to take you years to earn every single perk, and you can't just go down one branch and get to the bottom. To have the perk, you have to complete the tree. It's going to take decades to get one of these, so you can only have a handful, 2 or 3 in your entire life. So you've got to choose carefully where you want to focus. So, 3 branches: scheming, seduction, and torture. And I happen to actually start off with one already. So, when I torture someone, 50% chance to gain either an intrigue or a prowess. That's your, yeah, combat ability. That's interesting. Alternatively, dreadful. Dread gain plus 30%. I'll get to dread in a second. Divine retribution. Don't lose piety or clergy opinion from torturing people. That's of interest right there. And this one's interesting. Thriving in chaos. You get better per level of stress. Yeah, we might get back to that one. But for the time being, I wouldn't mind more children. So, okay. Seduction focus it flipping is. So, fertility, seduction, scheme power, or fertility up. Let's start with a massive boost with fertility, because 30% fertility, honestly, that's so good you might just want to take that one anyway. Even if you've got no interest in intrigue, just take that when you're young and it'll serve you well. Oh, now here's an interesting one. War between the Holy Roman Empire and France. Okay, keep a really close eye on this one. This one could potentially open up some opportunities. Especially as, yeah, these days alliances are easier to create, so you'll see people with more alliances. So, France is bringing, yeah, who are you actually bringing along with you? You're bringing Navarra, that's not much, but Sweden, they've got one hell of an army. And the Holy Roman Empire, meanwhile, they're bringing along Hungary, and okay, so another one of the Spanish kingdoms. Right, there might be a bit of a scuffle down there. So yeah, this is going to rapidly escalate into a slightly mad lunacy war. Love it. Oh, this is cute. Apparently my random courtiers actually do have jobs that I just don't know about. So, yeah, this guy Barrel, who's just like, you know, here with me. Apparently he's actually my cook. But unfortunately, yes, he's made a bit of an error, which is he knows I'm like, you know, a paranoid murderer. And yet, despite that, he's decided to serve me something a bit on the suspicious side with short and sparse fur on it. and then refuses to tell me what's in it, and then tells me the incredibly suspicious thing, my only wish is to serve you, my lord. So, okay, this could be a plot. This could be poison. But if I declare I don't care, I'm going to gain a huge amount of stress, because I'm paranoid, so I can't let this one go. But I would get a small health boost. Or I can, 70% chance I can sneak into the kitchen to find out what was in the dish, and I'll gain some Intrigue lifestyle experience. That's worth it. Right there, we'll give it a flippin' go, yes. And, okay, it is dark and empty, and I find the cookbook. When cooking liver, it's been noted that excessive beer consumption can significantly lower the quality of the organ. Cold feeling settles in my chest as I turn to another page. However, when cooking younger children beneath the age of... Okay, so it's okay. We didn't necessarily eat children. Admittedly, he's vengeful. Okay, he's vengeful and an antagonist, so he is a bit of a dick. Right, so I can just straight up kill him. Possibly I did just eat people. I might be a cannibal now. That would be fun. So, okay. We can imprison him, and I've already gained the Intrigue experience. If I decide to kill him, I can just kill him right now. Or I can say... Right, I could just say it was so delicious. Okay, but I don't actually gain the cannibal secret until I decide it was a good thing and I want to keep doing it. So that would probably be a bad idea. So, okay, actually, ooh, yes, dungeon. I need to do some torturing. Into the dungeon you go. Hi there. Hi. So, you fed me children. So what we're going to do instead now is we're going to start torturing you. Because there's actually a real reason for me to do that. Because every time I torture somebody, I have a chance of gaining either intrigue or fighting ability. Now, fighting ability is garbage, but to be honest, extra intrigue, I'd flippin' take it. Now, that is going to cost me a little bit of piety, because the church apparently does not look fondly on me torturing chefs. But to be honest, he is literally a cannibal. So, I feel like, the church shouldn't object to this too much, and might gain the dark insights. Now, he's not going to like me, but to be honest, he probably doesn't like me anyway. So, yes, we'll do a little bit of torture. I gain dark insight. Oh, I got the exact thing I wanted. That was a 25% chance, but more intrigue. Spectacular. Now, does that last forever? Because the implication is it does. And yes, indeed, all of that torture means he starts spilling his secrets. So I am actually learning things about him. I now know he's a cannibal. So, okay, I'm glad we bothered sneaking into the kitchen to see what was going on. Otherwise, this could have just gone on for bloody ages. So, now I know that. I could send him back to the cell, and we could be done. But, because I'm callous, one of my 3 traits, yeah, we might be able to, can we go for a second round immediately? Maybe get even more intrigue? Not done with you yet, my friend. And... if we could, unfortunately it did not trigger. That's a shame. Meanwhile, my wife comes up to me and apparently she is very annoyed with this knight, who's no one important to be honest. He's just one of my knights. He doesn't do anything else. Doesn't even like me that much, to be perfectly honest, because, yeah, I'm zealous, he's cynical. So, okay, I could make a decision what to do, but because my intrigue is so darn high, I can try and figure out the truth of what occurred. I'm almost certain to get to the bottom of it. So, yeah, she's definitely telling the truth. He definitely insulted her honour. So as a result of that, yeah, I can gain prestige, gain opinion, and he has to go from the realm, unfortunately. So goodbye, my friend. But unfortunately, you may notice up in the top right there, yeah, my army's quality just went down slightly, because I now have less knights, so my balance of levies to men-at-arms to knights just changed. And in fact, some of my knights are kind of garbage, to be honest. This guy who's a baron, martial is bad, prowess is bad. Yeah, we need to recruit a handful of extra people. Okay, time for a decision. We're going to be needing some more knights, please. So here we go. At least 3 able-bodied men with 12 or more prowess. That'll do. Here we go. We've got some more knights, but even recruiting new knights gets my stress up a bit because I'm paranoid about newcomers. Okay, but this lad's good, and he might be a good commander as well if it comes to war. So you, my friend, for 20 gold, welcome aboard. And you are allowed to be a knight, yes. Oh dear. Okay, slight issue. I was recruiting all those new knights, so we had knights, but I've hit stress level 1. So, yes, the music's just got a bit on the dicey side, and I am now stressed. Meaning, there is a possibility problems are about to start emerging. My fertility is going down, and I might be about to have some form of a modest mental break, potentially. Dark thoughts, bad things, etc. So, I can just say no, I don't accept this, but then I become even more stressed. I'm trying to ignore my problems. Instead, yeah, choices. So I can lose some stress, but I will become a drunkard. Drunkard is bad. That is stewardship down, prowess down, together with a tiny penalty to health, but nothing too dramatic. Okay, or I could accept a good bit of whipping. So prowess down, but health suffers more. And I have to accept being wounded. Okay, so, alcoholism. That's how we're going to get through this. We're going to become alcoholic. Still, on the plus side, I now have an elite quality army because I have 6 really, really nice knights. Like, look at these bad lads. They will do an excellent job when the war kicks off. And plenty of them aren't landed, don't need to be, and as a result of that, we don't need to worry about important vassals or members of my dynasty dying. But quick as you like, I'm already up to the next thing here. So, okay. Because I'm paranoid, I'm going to be, I'm going to be stressed a lot. Because paranoia obviously triggers a lot of stress. So, I think we might need to just embrace the stress, and say, screw it, we're just going to be stressed going forward. Because I can make myself stronger in stress. Here we go, dreadful. So dread gain plus 30%. Spectacular. And we're already moving up towards the next 2. So, dread. This is an alternative way of getting your vassals on side. Because if you've got terrible diplomacy, you could have dread instead. Dread has a natural level which it will tend towards. So right now my natural dread is 0. If I were to execute this lovely cannibal, however, yeah, that would get me 18 dread right there. The reason you want dread is it makes people terrified of you, and people who are terrified of you, particularly cowardly people, or at least not brave people, they're gonna do what you say more often. It's an alternative way of getting round to people and getting them to agree to things. So the King of France, for example, is craven. So even though I've got literally 0 dread, he's terrified of me anyway, just because he's basically terrified of everybody. Okay, so right now my court is made up of, 1 cannibal in prison, giant pile of knights, my son, and together with my immediate family. And you showed up at some point. Right, so I did say we needed some more children, and, I'm going to start gaining stress from seducing people because I'm zealous. So, technically, I'm not feeling good about sins. Like, I'm fine with the murder sin, but the seduction sin is too far. So as a result of that, okay, 0% chance to succeed. And I'm not attracted to... Wait, what? Okay, I may have come across a small roadblock in my plan to seduce women in order to have more children. Then again, a lot of this is the fact that she just doesn't like me because she's actually, a nice person and I'm not. So, okay, don't throw that plan on the bonfire just yet. We just need to find the right person to seduce. Oh, now this is interesting. There's just been a mass outbreak of heresy, as we've actually got ourselves, some breakaway Christian faiths popping up. So, okay, this is fascinating. I don't necessarily want to, get involved with this, but I can't help but notice the flipping Duke of Bohemia is involved with this. Several dukes are involved in this. A lot of the Holy Roman Empire just got, a different flavour of holy. And, oh my goodness, I thought so. Yeah, all of a sudden, now they're the wrong sort of Christian, they've decided they don't really want to be in the Empire anymore. A lot of people are jumping onto the independence faction. Okay. Just wait for the moment, because there could be an excellent opportunity to get out of this empire without too much trouble. right now, these guys are winning the war, but they are taking damage slowly but surely. There's more battles yet to be done here. And we've got another daughter. Okay, we shall have ourselves, yep, a good Occitan name, Juliana. Spectacular. No one good floating around for her to marry yet, though, so yeah, just keep her as she is for the time being. Also, I have realised if I'm going to be going out to the pub on occasion, I'm going to be needing, a couple of changes here, because the barbershop's so much better than it used to be. It's not just changing your hair and your beard anymore, you can change your entire flipping wardrobe, including just sort of awarding yourself a new crown if you want it. So, oh, that's much better. In fact, you know what? That's true. I am blatantly evil, so how about we have... I need to find myself the proper evil facial hair arrangements. Oh yeah, that's a bit more on the evil side right there. That's a good evil little moustache beard arrangements. Plus, you know what? If I was king, I'd just wear a shiny gold dressing gown all day too. And the wonderful day has come. Yes, my sister has come of age and as a result has married the King of Denmark. And that's going to be pretty bloody huge, actually, because, yeah, a king by marriage, that's worth 0.8 by itself. That's almost doubled the amount of renown piling in. And the intrigue pokes are coming in thick and fast now, so okay. Okay. We could embrace the madness, thriving in chaos, martial per stress level. Now that strikes me as good. Enticing opportunity, seduction scheme power plus 30%, not bad. So, even though I'm not necessarily super into it, alright, I am so committed to the intrigue seduction lifestyle, I can make it happen anyway. Scheme, however, has one good thing too, fabricating hooks. So yeah, basically I can just generate favours, which is very tempting. Very tempting indeed. Ooh. All of them are good, but yeah, let's get that. I probably won't do any more in Schema then again. Find secrets is faster. Kidnapping, so I can abduct people. Because yeah, lots of schemes that only become available if you invest in the right lifestyle. Also, the Holy Roman Emperor is in prison right now, so that's good. That's some good stuff right there. So that didn't go well for you, you stupid bastard. Also, can't help but notice that, yes, the Holy Roman Emperor only has 76 gold. So, is anyone planning to, like, ransom him? Because I'm not. Nope, he was released after he surrendered in the war. Fair enough. Oh, and with a glorious fanfare, I imagine we have just, with our renown doing very, very nicely right now, we're in good flippin' shape. We're actually now up to... noteworthy. Now that is good. That is very, very good indeed. Because not only are children now picking up, more prestige than they would have done previously, but marrying into my dynasty is more desirable than it used to be. That's going to make it easier to arrange marriages going forwards. Oh, and speak of the devil, I think everyone's got a little bit annoyed at the Holy Roman Emperor for just losing that war, getting himself captured, and then surrendering to the French. Because it turns out that literally flipping everybody wants out. Okay, well, you know what, guys? I think we're leaving. And he can't stop us. We've got 3 times the troops he can. If he even tries to stop us, then honestly, I'm staying out of it. Bohemia and Bavaria can take care of that. So basically, so long, you stupid loser. Okay, I didn't realise this, but the new emperor's been replaced by a baby. Somehow a baby has ended up on the throne. And he's really annoyed at me for trying to do this. So the baby has written me a very eloquent letter. I imagine it was written by his regent, but you know what? Maybe not. Maybe I'm about to go to war with a genius baby. So that's fine. That's all absolutely a-okay. Can we murder the genius baby, by the way? Would that be possible? We could murder the genius baby. Then again, I'm not sure why I would, to be honest. This baby is probably, pretty much as weak as it gets. So, war it is, apparently. Right, let's kick this baby's ass. Okay, so absolutely all of these troops are on the side of the Angel. Spectacular. So, okay, we've got ourselves... they've got no allies whatsoever. We've got a lot of allies. We've got a flipping lot of allies. Good, 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 good. I suspect you're going to be in trouble, my friend. Alright, lads, it's time. Raise up the flipping armies. Get everyone up together. That's all 600 of my men. Commanders are now just kind of assigned to the army as a whole out of whoever you flipping feel like, though. Ooh, I could do it myself. I mean, that sounds kind of fun. Yes, I am going to personally lead this army. Boom. My elite army of 600 men. We have got archers. We have got good quality knights I paid a lot of money for. Everything's going to be spectacular. Right, so, need to go find ourselves a target, because these days, if you just take out the capital of a county, you just get the whole thing immediately, so we get ourselves a little castle right here, barely even guarded. We'll go and take care of that. So, alright, everybody come together. Honestly, just let Bohemia deal with most of it for the most part. That should be a-okay. Right, in position, taking a tiny, tiny amount of attrition, but nothing too dramatic there. What's more important is, yeah, we're in the right position, right over here. This is going to take a handful of months to do. Would have been easier if I'd actually, like, constructed siege equipment, which is one of the men-of-arms regiments. Could have actually built some onagers or whatnot, but this will be fine. We'll just do a conventional siege. I mean, there's a lot of sieging going on all over the shop up here. There's plenty of armies. The chance he's going to come and deal with me personally is hopefully very low, because yeah, there's way more stuff going on in this part of the world. Oh gosh darn it, Barrel died before I remembered to flipping torture him again. Well, now I need to find someone else to torture. Okay guys, when we storm the castle, if there's like anyone inside, bring them back to the actual dungeons, because we kind of need them. Oh, slight trouble though, slight flipping trouble. It turns out the enemy army, ooh. The enemy army is showing up, but, this enemy army is, it's trash. It's absolute flipping trash, and I've got reinforcements coming in. I think we can win this, actually. It's got, like, no knights or anything, because my army may be only half the size, but it is elite. I have got bowmen, I have got knights, and, more importantly, I'm standing on top of a cocking mountain. Prepare yourselves for the Battle of Skull Mountain, Mark II. Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you might not want to. I thought you might not want to, actually. Okay, there is a better army coming in over here. The army of Venice is on the move. Once they all come together, that's going to be more of a problem. But I have got the army of Genoa coming in to reinforce. So, I think, yep, they're backing off. Okay. The war is getting more in my territory than I wanted it to be, but we have taken a bit of land. Okay, everybody, we're moving out. They seem to be following me, which is marvellously good news. We're gonna... Oh, you guys are fleeing over the ocean. Good, 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 good. The more time we just waste right here, the better. That actually works for me. This army's moving weirdly slowly. Okay, move around in this direction. Friends, stay with me. Because the more time you're wasting up here, the more time these guys have got to start sieging down more territory. Okay, bit of ring around the rosy going on here, but yes, it appears most of my allies are just desperately trying to track down the Imperials, and they've kicked Venice's ass there. Now they're going to keep moving on towards the Emperor himself. I'm just going to chill out down here, do a bit of sieging. That'll be lovely. Oh, here we go, here we go, here we flipping go. Right, so, it turns out I've managed to capture some people in this siege. There were some people living there. Welcome to the dungeon. You're gonna love it here, because guess what we do? Guess what we enjoy doing an awful lot. For any of you important, by the way, you're modestly important, so to be honest, you I might be willing to ransom for, 50 gold or a favour. Okay, for 50 gold, you can go, but I'm keeping all your friends. Oh, hang on. These are all his sons. Oh, these people are all important. Oh, well, that's just... This is fascinating. Okay, well, I'm really sorry about this, but... oh, this is tricky. That's 150 gold just sitting behind... okay, but... I mean... why not both? In a way. Why not both? Because... yeah, I might actually get myself some dark insights. This is going to cost me a lot of piety. Like... what does piety do when I get it higher? Oh, priests like me more. Honestly, I can do without that. Right, so you're going to be tortured, and you're going to be tortured, and you're going to be tortured. There we go. Ah, there's some more intrigue. Boom. They're actually worth the same amount of money now as before I whipped them. Okay, you know what? That's perfectly acceptable. They are very, very keen to be ransomed by the dad. So you can go. I'm keeping the other two. Now, the nice thing about these guys is they are prisoners of war. So all of a sudden, yeah, execution's on the table without any tyranny whatsoever. You know, their dad's going to be a bit on the annoyed side, but just check you don't have too many. Okay, he doesn't have too much in the way of troops. That's fine. He can't really get revenge on me. They're claiming it's unlawful. But, like... my own council don't seem to care, so this is a good way of me getting some dread up. So you are being executed, marvellous. And there we go. Now I've got 36 dread that's going to decay back towards 0 at 0.3 a month. So here we go, my own cousin is actually, yes, terrified of me right now. So as a result of that, here we flipping go, intimidated. So as a result of that, if I want to actually ask him to do something for me, I'm going to get a modifier because of that. In fact, just look at that. This is just a random marriage I picked out of nowhere, but I've got a plus 75 intimidation modifier in this wedding negotiation. So basically, he's just going to do whatever I say. He would accept any stupid relationship. Oh, that's just lovely. And looks like we've got a major battle on our hands, actually, and here we go. Hang the flip on, actually. No. Slow this down. We're going to be enjoying this. This is going to be... this should be an absolute walkover. That's the... yep, that's the Duke of Bavaria moving in right now. So, yeah, he has got more knights right now. There is a bunch of skirmishing going on. They are both skilled commanders, but it's going to be no good. Even if you were to roll terribly, it would just mean more casualties. There's no way you can win. The armies are the same quality. There's probably reinforcements piling in right now. Yep, there's way more reinforcements piling in too. This is going to be an absolute disaster for these guys. They've become elite because too many of the flipping levies have just died. So 49% and... goodbye, you stupid loser. And yeah, it feels like more people die in the pursuit phase than they used to. So yep, they've just been seen off very, very nicely indeed. Right, my troops, return to where you just were. Oh, and Cecilia has come of age, and yeah, because there's now an aging thing. Children don't just magically teleport from being a child to being, you know, an adult when they hit 16. You kind of watch them grow up, which is cute. She's actually done... she's done alright for herself, though admittedly her education doesn't really suit her skills, but whatever. Have fun in Luxembourg, I'm sure it's really nice there. And that boosts round up to now 2.5. We've got a duke, a king by marriage, 2 dukes by marriage, and a count by marriage. Beautiful. And we've got a new person in the dungeons. It's a mayor. Okay, well that's got to be worth some good money. And yet another perk, so... okay, 50% scheme success chance for seduction against anyone who's actually in my court and guests. Then again, I was worrying a bit about, yeah, piety and whatnot. Okay, you know what? Divine retribution, the people I'm like torturing, they deserve to be tortured, I promise. Hi there, guys. So, okay, I've got myself a loophole, which is great. How much can I get for you, by the way? 30 gold. Okay, well, you're getting tortured first, just in case we get some good secrets. Oh, that's... it's a dark insight, but it's the wrong type of dark insight, which is a shame. Should we just let you go? I mean, that is good money. That is good... oh, that's 10. Are you bankrupt, by any chance? No, you just don't like that guy that much. Fine. Another siege leads to yet more prisoners. Good. We have captured somebody's stepdaughter. His... ooh, yep, that's the... oh... he is a baby. I'm feeling like, in some ways, you probably shouldn't torture... You probably shouldn't torture babies. Okay, you can't torture babies. You can execute them, though. That's got to be... Okay, that generates a fair bit of dread. People are pretty scared of the person who murders a baby. But the only people that seem to actually mind are, yeah, the family members of this guy. And I don't really care what this guy thinks, so... Okay, well, just in theory, how much would you pay for him? 50 gold. That's alright. Yeah, okay, you can have him back for 50 gold. Honestly, I feel like I should be asking for more. Alternatively, I can actually, yes, demand conversion, gain a favour, or force that individual to take the vows. So that's interesting. But no, none of that. That's not particularly interesting. Instead, I think you might be going down, because that's dread for me. And no one else cares apart from this guy's family. So yeah, she's being killed. Sorry about that. Okay, we just got 20 gold from seizing Verona as well, but another battle up in the Alps. Oh my. I would say it is time for, yeah, literally everybody to become independent. I'll be taking some prestige, and I'm literally on minus piety right now. That's gotta be bad. Okay, so I think I just broke the Holy Roman... Yep, I've definitely just broken the Holy Roman Empire. So, Bohemia, Bavaria, me, a whole bunch of other people, we're now all beautiful and free. And... Sorry, who just attacked too? Sorry? Okay, so, the moment I'm not being protected by the Holy Roman Empire anymore, my brother-in-law, who I kind of thought was going to be chill, has instead decided to, wage war on me. Because, he wants... What on earth do you even want? Okay, you want this tiny bit of land. Should you have that tiny bit of land? I'm gonna be honest, not really. It's not really yours. Ah, it's some count's claim. Nothing more than that. Got it. Okay, one thing I might want to do immediately, though, is... yeah, that territory they're about to take off me. This duchy I could create has... I believe, yeah, it's got 5 counties. I own 3 of them, but I might be about to lose 1. So, what I'm going to do straight away is create that and keep it for me, because that's going to be important. So that is a big old pile of stuff right there, spectacular. So, okay, there we flipping go. That's just lovely, because that means, my friend, my friend, my friend, my friend, you rightfully belong to me. Alright, de jure liege, all the rest of it. And by the way, all the rest of you should chill out too, because now I am your de jure liege, which was causing problems before. So, okay, how close are you to accepting vassalage? Honestly, not that far off, to be honest. Part of the problem is difference in military strength. How much do you have, my friend? 800 troops, not bad at all. At the same time, you appreciate, I'm not letting you survive this. Okay, you're just not, you dick. Then again, hang on, I'm killing the wrong man. I'm killing 100% the wrong man. No claimant means no claim. Possibly means no war. Looking okay right now, and... okay, how much for a bribe for you? 85 gold, but... you would add a fair bit to the power. Okay, you know what? Do it. Flipping do it. Alright, let's take this guy out. Okay, but they're moving down south. They are now moving south, presumably, to head to... why are you going out to sea? Okay, for some reason they're sailing round to my capital. Sorry to anyone who lives there, but I might be able to take this territory back just to play for time until it's time to assassinate this guy. Okay, so we're getting on with that. They're down over here, but they've actually got themselves, like, you know, proper siege equipment. So they can siege way faster than us. They can probably get back up here before I actually... before I finish, unfortunately. That's precisely what they're doing. They are now rushing up there, and someone was just killed during the siege. Oh, no. Anyone important? Does anyone know who that is? Okay, he doesn't seem important. I think he was actually just a guest, so I'm really sorry you picked a bad time to holiday. Okay, their troops are almost on me. I am losing this war badly, but if we could take him out right now, I don't know if that ends the war, but I really hope it does, because we need to flipping go. And the plan worked. He's dead, and oh, flipping dear! It would appear your stupid war is over. Oh dear. Oh, flipping dear. Well, that's such a shame that you're unexpectedly dead. Sorry, I'm just going to enjoy standing on my hill that still belongs to me, because an army 5 times my size couldn't flipping take it. Now that's the power of murder. Okay, valuable lesson learned. We do not have anywhere near enough, firepower to do anything. Okay, time to start investing here. Let's build just a basic barracks down over here in Toulon. So that's levies plus 125. Doesn't even cost that much. That's in production. Yeah, as time goes by, you can upgrade that a lot. And at the same time, a second unit of bowmen, please. Get that in production. Meanwhile, here's fun. A nice little connection to my last playthrough in Crusader Kings 2. We got ourselves a duke over in, Serbia way, who is only willing to accept a marriage because he's absolutely terrified of me. Yeah, I've got too many alliances officially, but that is an extra pile of renown done. Oh, special event. Apparently, there's something mysterious in the castle. And my wife says I'm not just being crazy. There is something suspicious. So, okay. Gain stress from being paranoid, but more vigilant. For 5 years, intrigue +1. That's pretty good. Or, need to get to the bottom of this, might gain a... Wow! A free perk. Done. Yeah, let's see where that goes. Okay, so I decided to hide in the corridors at night, and one of my own knights has been spotted. So, he's not supposed to be here. Confront him immediately. If he's in a scheme, you'll expose it, but if not, your attempt at rooting out the spy fails. Alternatively, intrigue challenge. So, try and follow him, which I'm almost certain to pass because I'm very, very sneaky. Alternatively, couldn't be him. I mean, we know nothing about him. We invited him because we needed knights. So, yeah. Chase him down, see where we go. And, oh my flipping goodness, was that just not... That was just an odd coincidence at the same time. Marvellous. So, where is he going? Out into the castle gardens? Maybe he's just, having a little sexy rendezvous. So, I gain 1 intrigue lifestyle perk unlock. Okay, so I just got 2. Like for nothing. Spectacular. I've got a plan here, which is the seducing isn't necessarily working out so well. Alright? Because it turns out I just don't necessarily swing that way. So, here's what we're going to do. Thriving in chaos means I start getting huge piles of martial and intrigue, which is great. So that can go up to level 3. So, I'm going to regret this. Here's something you could do. You can reset your perks once in a lifetime. It is pretty much the most stressful thing you can do. Because, yes, you're kind of like relearning everything. You're like having, I don't know, some form of breakdown where you reevaluate your entire life. But, if, like, in theory, you were thriving in chaos at the end of it, it might, in theory, pay off. And also, more tax. Fear tax. This is... Yeah, we're doing it. Go. Embrace the madness. Right, so I've just become overwhelmed by stress. But that's fine, because I am now thriving in chaos. I get all my points back. Dark insights. That's great. I really hope I didn't just lose my dark insights, by the way. I might have done. I don't know. So, yes, then we'll just go down over here into fear tax. Spectacular. Now, Forever Infamous is dread basically stops decaying. And imprison chance goes way, way up. And that leads into Torturer. So prowess up, dread gain up, levy size up, hostile scheme resistance. That's interesting. I mean, that dread, that could work for me. That flipping dread could do the job. Screw it, we're doing it. We're going all in on torture. Okay, so I'm now at stress level 2 out of 3. So my fertility's knackered, fine, whatever, doesn't matter. Probably I'll have a breakdown in a second. That's all a-okay, because my I have not lost my dark insights, as it turns out. They didn't go away when I reset the perks, but I do now have +8 of thriving in chaos, and also martials now up to 14. So basically I'm just embracing utter madness right now. And yeah, my dread's not going down. At this point I'm just going to be terrifying for the rest of my life. Okay. As we start building up some more troops, and yeah, we're down to -21 on the vassalage without even needing a war, because terrified is +20. If we can just get our military to be more powerful than them, and slip him enough money that we get rid of the -4, we can do that. We can just eat Lyon without needing to actually go to war. Okay, so more mental breaks are now starting to kick in. I'm just basically ignoring peasants who are coming to me with their problem, and a likely story of probably some foreign spy. Alright, so I'm starting to lose it. So leave all of you, but I become reclusive. Go on a massive drinking binge, but it's so significant, like literally everyone in the world thinks I'm less prestigious. Or gain stress. Yep, gain more stress. There we go. We've gone up to the next level. We are now at the max level of stress. I don't know what happens at this point, so just started weeping openly in the middle of court. Brilliant. What does it matter? Don't care. Everything's under control because my stats are through the flipping roof. Okay, so my stress has now got so bad I can't just stack more stress. That's not allowed anymore. So, okay. What I can do instead is basically become melancholic, which is bad. That's definitely bad. Okay, that would lose some stress. Or I can beg for help, which would mean I would actually lose 1 level of fame. Okay, that's unfortunate. So I would lose a lot of flipping prestige right there. That's not good. But I would form a friendship with him. He can help me through this. Or I can start yelling at people, get rid of zealous, but become wrathful instead. So that would cost me a tiny bit of intrigue, but more martial and natural dread up. He wouldn't be thrilled, but he'd get over it, and in 5 years we're probably going to have another breakdown. But honestly, yeah, we'll go for that one. I'll take flipping wrathful. So, yeah, I'm no longer completely overwhelmed by stress, but I am still at level, 2. So, my health's not great anymore, but my martial's now up to 15. Intrigue's now at 34. Lost the trait zealous, but yeah, wrathful's, that's pretty good. And I'm now going to do everything I can to get as much stress back as quickly as possible, because I can't have another mental break for 5 years. So we're just going to get back up to level 3, so I can help myself to even more flipping martial. Oh, and speak of the devil, Torturer has become available. Boom. So yes, despite the fact this is my specialisation, I've made it to the age of 37 and only completed 1 tree. Still, that new investment is paying off nicely. That is a good number of troops we finally got going on. Okay, so my intrigue's looking very good, but on the other hand, I'm planning to murder my son because I've become convinced that all the bad things in my life are down to 1 or 2 things. It's either my son or squirrels. So either my son dies, and that's probably a bad thing, to be honest, in many ways, or, alternatively, the squirrels, they did it. At which point I should become a lunatic, which seems honestly not even that bad. That seems okay, I can live with that. Okay, but on the other hand, possibly repeatedly running myself around at the highest imaginable level of stress while insane and paranoid, I can see how that would have been quite bad for my health. Yes. So, okay, there are downsides. There are downsides to the embracing chaos, let's all live in madness strategy. I'm not gonna deny. Okay, this is fine. Put on your seatbelts because we're doing a 180 right now. Because, Otton, there are things he could do that his father could not do. Like, not be a monster. Because sometimes, yes, you can catch more flies with honey than vinegar. So, alright, you're utterly dreadful. Why are we stuck with you? That's fine. Let's start getting that diplomacy up a bit. Oh, this'll do. A princess of the Byzantine Empire. That'll be fine. That seems absolutely great. And, because she is, connected to an emperor, I get 10 million prestige. Here we go, my friend. Let's start trying to sway you. So that there is a good personal scheme that we can get underway. It's getting about 12 months. It's got a better than average chance of succeeding. And if we get caught, doesn't matter. Because, you know, it's not a crime to make friends with people. Here we go. Diplomacy. So yes, indeed. Gifts are more thoughtfully chosen. So as a result of that, they do more good. Or sway is 30% more powerful. Now let's go for gifts. Let's double the power of gifts here. Because we might be able to win this guy over. Okay, this wasn't entirely what the original plan was. But I've invited, you know, Count R2 of Lyon round for tea. And he wants to have a private dinner with my mum. Which apparently would stress me out a bit. But he would have a really nice time. So I'm going to assume this is fine and just say yes. Because he is really starting to come round to me. Okay, me and my mum have agreed that we're just never going to acknowledge what just happened again. But it doesn't matter because he flipping loves me. He loves me so much that he is actually willing to accept vassalization plus 35 of his opinion of me, together with the fact he is my de jure vassal. And with that, I now get Leon Kaboom. And in other surprising news, Lapland has decided that they're gonna conquer Provence. Not sure how they came to this conclusion, but, okay. Luckily, we do have at least some decent troops. Some allies are bothering to show up at least a little bit, but their reinforcements are about to be here. This is now to the wire. It's all going to come down to dice rolls and right in the middle. Right in the middle. I mean, we've got some decent troops. We're getting some good rolls in, but it's starting to turn against us. I might be able to regenerate enough, but it might be enough to slow us all down to the bare minimum. Okay, I don't know. Lapland just invaded. I mean, I feel like they could have picked an easier target than Provence, but oh dear. I feel like, okay, they're down to not too much, all things considered. Does anyone know where the rest of my friends are? Okay, so we're about to lose our capital to Lapland, but that's fine, because all of this was for one very important reason. We were supposed to be gaining renown, and we have been gaining renown. And now, in a single month's time, long before they'll be able to break in, which I mean about like 10 days before, I have got 1,000 renown. This is what I wanted. This is all I flipping wanted. This is all gone horribly wrong. Ignore all of this. This is fine. Because this is where things get sexy. This is what I mean about things having long-term consequences in Crusader Kings 3. Because it's not just about, you know, doubling down on what you're good at, leaning into the roleplay, making sure that, you know, you actually do what your character would logically do to avoid stress, and making sure that, you know, you dig down to get those really good perks, so you focus on a single lifestyle, sometimes for your entire life, so you get into a very particular style of play that can be very different with each ruler, but at a dynasty level. If you build your dynasty, if you get your renown in, and that's not bad. Alright, it's like, you know, a few decades after we began, we're some nothing faction. This isn't bad at all, because now we get to choose a legacy. So this is something that going forward, literally everyone in our dynasty for the rest of time will have access to. And some of these are really, really darn good. Like two of my favourites down the bottom over here. Fertility, 10% up for literally everyone. I mean, bonus knight effectiveness is nice, Casus Belli being cheaper, and yeah, plenty of the ones in the middle are you get bonus experience in a particular lifestyle, which can be very, very good as well, if that's the sort of direction you want to go into. There's all sorts of stuff related to, yeah, breeding over here, making sure bad traits don't get passed on, and good traits do. But yeah, here's my particular favourite, the Glory Tree. Desirable match, plus 30 to all marriage acceptance for everyone in the dynasty for the rest of time. It's like a bloodline, but arguably a lot more interesting to my mind. So here, for example, we have got some random marriage I just picked up out of nowhere. And yeah, despite the fact that the game's saying, well, you've got too many alliances, so you shouldn't really be able to have another marriage in your dynasty. Yep, now I just can. Doesn't even matter. She will go for it. It's just nudged over the top by that plus 30 desirable match, which is enough to offset you have too many alliances. So basically, it's a free extra alliance, as well as giving you all sorts of marriages you might not normally be able to get access to. But equally, you could focus on diplomacy, because the amount of personal diplomacy you get with everybody off high diplomacy is really high these days. Or you could go for dread. If you can terrify people, that's going to be worth a good 20 or 30. We saw that earlier, so yeah, there's so many flipping options. It's great. I love it. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful. And so, as my capital is burnt to the ground by Lapland, who decided to, you know, just come on a nice holiday to the south of France, and to be honest, fair enough. That's Crusader Kings 3, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much more I could go into, but I suspect this has already been going on ridiculously too long. Anyway, as I said at the beginning, I wanted to go into why culture was important. Yeah, there's a new culture-related tech tree, where depending on who holds the most land of a particular culture, they get to specify which direction tech goes in. So if you could convert enough land to a particular culture, you could take control of the tech tree, which right now, I don't have control of. I was going to go into that in detail, but I didn't flipping have time, because there's just too much flipping stuff here. But yeah, the lifestyle stuff, that's a game changer. To my mind, yeah, that and the Dynasty legacies, those are the huge ones. Those are big, huge, foundational things. But basically, it's Crusader Kings. It's Crusader Kings, but bigger and more beautiful and remixed and with all sorts of really interesting new mechanics. It's just lovely. And I cannot wait to bring you some more of this. Tomorrow, I'm going to be releasing a big, deep, in-depth guide to the new lifestyle system, which I think is one of the biggest, most interesting changes in Crusader Kings 3. Lots of really interesting stuff tucked away in there. You're not going to want to miss that. Really interesting character build guide. Should be very, very useful to anybody planning to play the game. And beyond that, later this week, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be beginning the brand new full Crusader Kings 3 series. It is going to be spectacular. Hopefully, you are looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been many a true nerd, and this has been the wonderful Crusader Kings 3. Thank you very much, and goodbye. I've created a small problem in my road system, which is, it's literally impossible for anyone to ever go back into town. And this building shall be where we produce our zebras. And this much taller building next door is naturally where we produce the giraffes. Does anyone remember how the road system went? I think it was something like this.